Sorry. I just did a rude gesture, and I didn't see Chelsea standing right next to the guy I was making the rude gesture to. So I'll have to go visit HR on Monday.
That's all right. This is a audio-only podcast, so rude gestures are allowed.
Yes.
In fact, they're encouraged.
And with that, we'll begin. Welcome to E1R Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of a La Champ or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. We even think you drifto hell flush peeps are, right? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes in the world of low-dollar endurance racing. Whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or but terrible, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are E1R Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to another 3-day pass episode of our podcast. It's episode 72. If you're not driving a car, don't forget your E1R bingo card. Link in the show notes. Have a good time with that.
Why wasn't it a happy birthday show this week?
I don't know. Because Metro wrote that, and 72 hours is a 3-day pass. 70 hours, 2 hours, right?
I understand that.
I get it.
I'm just saying.
But literally all 3 weeks could be happy birthday. Last week was Chrissy. This week is Chris. Next week is me.
Yep.
All right. Let's begin the way we always begin, not with confusion, but with what you're working on. Who wants to start?
You start.
Do I get to go because I have the big news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're dying to hear it. Come on.
We're excited.
You wouldn't answer my questions. You said don't burn pots.
I would not answer any questions. So we are preparing our brand new 300ZX this weekend. It is cage build weekend coming up, and I have been prepping and preparing and ordering like a madman. I ordered and received our new containment seat. I ordered a new welding helmet because ours died putting the fuel cell into the Ombre. I ordered new car straps because when I sold the Ombre, I gave them to Bill because he had those terrible car straps that we didn't trust him with. I ordered a new license plate light for my trailer because I knocked it off with a lawnmower. Is anyone seeing a theme here?
Yeah.
You're janky.
I'm janky.
Yes.
I'm unjankifying my entire life. I got garage door insulation because it was so damn cold. I got a brand new set of tires. I got a brake controller, a harness for my truck. My new truck.
Your new truck.
New truck time.
It's not a segment.
It's not a segment.
No.
While I'm talking,
it is now.
It is now. While I'm talking, if anyone wants to open the show notes hard drive, while we were preparing, I uploaded a picture of the new. I'm waiting for everyone to see it. Should be there.
Refreshing.
Wait, is it?
Search drive.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, uploaded just now. I got it.
You should.
Oh, I see it.
You got what?
I got it.
Chrissy, Chrissy, do you see it?
Oh, I have to log in somewhere else.
Oh, Chrissy's computer is hurt. Chrissy, you can come over here and look at it. It's fine.
Yeah, then I have to get up.
No, I'll just hold up. I'll hold it up to the camera. Oh, that is a Alpine white, I don't know what to call it, white Nissan Titan. It is a 2011. I have officially left the world of GM Topig.
What?
So what do I win for suggesting that you get a Nissan Titan back when we were talking about this?
You win the knowledge that you saved my life because driving the Avalanche one more time probably was going to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This truck has every option. It has all leather cow interior.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
If you take your foot off the gas pedal and put it on the other pedal, the one that's kind of long sideways, and press it down, the truck slows and eventually stops.
Wow.
I've never had this before in my life. I'm very excited.
I don't even believe it. Hold on.
Believe it.
So
it's so
when we see
pretty.
it this weekend, I've got to really take it in because it's never going to be this nice again. Now that you
No,
own it, so I got
never. It
Can
has
you
all.
try this time?
My wife said the same thing. Can you try and not
Try.
jankify this immediately and make it so disgusting?
Mental.
It's real simple. When you get the fast food bag, you use that same bag when you get to work, put all the trash in that bag, take it with you.
Mike.
No.
Yep.
Throw
No.
it on the floor with
No.
all the rest of the crap.
Exactly.
Here's my top tip for keeping the car clean.
Top tip, I'm ready.
Every time you get gas, gather the trash in the
Turbo
car
R.
while the gas is filling up, and throw it away.
Not a bad idea.
Because otherwise, you're just
Since
standing there.
You live in New Jersey. You don't even have to do anything. Get out, take the stuff out, clean it up a little bit, and then get back in the car. You don't
So
even
you're
have
not allowed to
pump
pump
your
your gas. Yeah.
Hello.
Sure.
What do you? Oh,
Go ahead.
Question.
It went right over his
I
bald
noticed-
head. So.
I know he doesn't care.
Oh,
I noticed that the bed has a cap on it.
the bed has a fiberglass cap. I'm not totally thrilled by that.
Yes.
But that is a, I guess, port installed option in all of the check every box luxury limo, cowboy limo, Nissan Titans of that year.
Yes.
Because it also has like the monochrome bumpers. Like the
Yep.
bumpers are body colored and the grill is body colored
Yes.
instead of chrome. So I
Yeah.
kind of liked the chrome, but this
Well-
was the best one available.
Mm.
And
thing
my
is-
wife made a deal. She said, quit screwing around and buy a nice truck for a change. Stop trying to buy a piece of shit.
That's awesome.
The nice thing about one of these trucks with a tonneau that's still there means that whoever had that used it like a big sedan. They didn't use it like a truck. Oh, my internet connection was lost. Hey, but I'm the one recording, so I'm just going to keep talking, even though no one else can hear me. So, yeah. Anyway,
That's
so
an SUV.
oh, hey,
All
I'm
right, now
back.
you're
Even though
what
I've had my
you
own
say.
show for the last 30 seconds, it's been great.
That's all right, because you're recording, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
heard
right.
what we heard, not what we heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I have to say something really quick about the previous owners because I got in the car and I immediately attempted to Bluetooth sync my phone, and I got to hear the voices of the old owners because they, of course, introduced their phones. And it was...
that's so weird.
That's so weird, yes. And it was two middle-aged women, Amy and Marissa. So I think the new name of this vehicle is the Lesbian Lori.
Playing
works.
Indigo Girls. Playing
I'm just
Indigo-
saying. The country radio station was on the presets.
Yeah.
Playing Katie Lang.
Wow, and Jeff, your other car is a Subaru Forester, so you're really
You're getting there.
yeah,
I am
right.
safe
Got the
zone
haircut.
trained.
you are safe zone trained.
That is
Well.
the end of my what you're working on. Do not calculate the bills, but let's just say in the last 2 weeks I spent good Boxster money.
Yeah,
Not crappy Boxster money.
You can't tow with a
Good
Boxster.
Boxster money.
So
I know. I had to. I'm
there's
just saying.
that.
uh-huh.
You could add
Right.
4 Boxsters.
Only the kind that, well, that's what you need, mental, because every time then you blow one up every 6 months, and you get another one, and blow it up every 6 months, get another one, then you're all right. Yeah.
2 years.
Chris.
I'm good.
Tell us what you're working on.
Well, I worked on the MG some. That was good. We went and got the Z out of storage. That's good. I watched a boring football game with an outcome that I was pleased with. That was good.
Terrible football game.
Yep.
Really
Yeah.
wasn't.
I like our guest already.
Yeah. Worked on the parts list and procurement of some parts for the Honda, and did some prep for this weekend. That's about it. It's nowhere near as exciting a week as yours. I did not
No.
buy any non-binary, gender-neutral pickup trucks.
Nope.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
Mental. Why don't you start by telling us where you are and why there's so much background noise?
So we are actually, well, I'm actually doing this with our guest live from the Road Atlanta paddock because it is 70 degrees right now.
Ah, you suck.
It is gorgeous. Yeah. I went for the nice shirtless run today. It was fantastic.
Wow.
Usually you don't need an excuse for that.
He asked him to take off his shirt, but he wouldn't do it.
Oh, just give him some
No.
tequila. It'll be off in no time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I also noticed that
singles at me either.
For those of you who are not on the video podcast because it doesn't exist, Mental is sporting the military spec hairdo again.
Oh, no,
this is
I
a
went for the
style.
hipster. This is hipster.
It is
high fade.
It is a high fade, long on
My
top.
son has that kind of haircut.
I don't
Oh,
know what's that. Is that good or bad?
Well, he's 18, so that's close.
Oh, we see what's
Hey,
going on.
look at
here.
that guy over there. Look at that guy over there. You know who he is? Come here.
Well,
The-
at
when you
least I
said
got
my
to check
son,
Mental's
like,
hair
spitting
off.
rodent.
Hey,
Being
so
hard.
I'm waving my hand. I'm cutting into
Yeah.
this voice. So
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about this a little later here. I'm talking to Bill Riley. Bill Riley is kind of famous in the world of endurance racing. So how was last weekend, Bill?
Last weekend at Daytona or 2 weeks ago?
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks ago at Daytona. I'm a little
It
slow.
was wet and cold.
Yeah.
Wet and cold. And not much fun.
So, but you stay under that cover the whole time, don't you?
Yeah, but I still get wet. It doesn't. I still get wet. Everybody was wet. Everybody was miserable. The whole pit line.
So, you had a lot of rain falling down. Your car was doing okay in the rain. The other cars couldn't do so well.
Yeah, I mean, we were running strong. We got kind of caught out on that first red flag. And the second red flag, they just pulled the time out of the hat when they call it, and we just weren't leading at that time.
Well, we'll talk about it this weekend. Now, you're racing this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah, it'd be great if we talk about it, because I'm not bitter about it or anything like that. Talking about work, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Bill.
because that my guys keep trying to get me to get punched.
Yeah.
So for you to punch
Oh,
me
yeah.
would be just
Oh
awesome.
yeah, come down and talk about it in front of all my guys that are here too. We all love that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's great
All
time.
right, sounds
Okay.
good, man. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
That's Bill Riley, the boss of the what number's that again?
33.
Yeah, the 33 Mercedes AMG at the Daytona races a couple weeks ago. They were actually in the lead for most of the race, but the red flags caught them out, and they because so many cars were on the lead lap, they fell back. Really sucked. Because Oh, my name is Bill Strong, by the way.
Hi, Bill.
oh, he's jumping the interviews now.
That's okay.
I thought it was.
Bill Riley was just walking by, and I thought, oh, that'd be great. Get him over here.
Yeah, why not?
I thought it was great during the red flag. Like the leaders, car owners were like, "It's too dangerous. Everybody's gonna die." And everybody in second place back was like, "No, we'll race. No, we're not done yet. It's not that bad. We'll go back out."
Texting Riley, and Riley's like, "I'm like, how is it? Because they're saying it's really bad." He says, "We are doing okay." Of course, like a lap later, they spun, but he was still doing okay.
All right. Well, since you already introduced yourself, we have some things going on.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little too hot.
Mental's doing stuff.
Mental's doing stuff.
He left.
I didn't set up anything. I just clicked on.
Well,
That's all right. Hey, in the meantime,
Lackeys that do this for me a lot, Paul.
Ignore the man with the funny haircut. Mental, you gonna get back? There you go. Mental, tell us what you're working on.
You got to tell him what you're working on.
No,
Get back,
or
to
he's
your,
busy.
get back to your mic.
So this past weekend, I was at Wild Horse Pass Raceway, which is formerly known as Firebird International Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona.
I've raced there.
Yeah. Nigel Mansell did his first IndyCar test, and he drove a Cadillac around it in like 1990, whenever. And they had an article about that on Road and Track. Anyway, so had a bit of an analog driver my first session out, on the gas, off the gas, on the gas, off the gas, on the brake, off the gas, brake, so I'm a little nauseous and going into the day, and I'm fighting it, and I'm getting out of the car, and I'm getting back in the car, and I get one just marginal driver, and I'm nauseous again. So then I finally I'm coming in toward the end of the day. I've got a kid who's actually pretty good. Go ahead, Chris.
Whatever you just changed, now you are like talking. We hear you double.
Yeah,
so you need to get
hard
closer
to
to your
listen
mic
to.
or angle it away from Bill. So whatever you just changed made you worse.
Crap.
So now that's good though. As long as you do that, you're
Whatever
fine.
you do that. Lean
All right.
that way.
So I end up in
No, it's not
getting
better.
not. You just told me it was good.
It wasn't.
That-
It wasn't.
Right. Yeah, okay.
1 minute.
He keeps changing stuff. Well, Chrissy, do you want to
Changing
talk about what
settings.
you're
Sure.
working on while
I'll-
they're doing that?
Yeah, because I want to hear a mental story. Obviously, we all do. So this week last weekend, lots of birthdays. Last week, 2 members of the show are officially older, as Mental was saying. So we had so many parties. We had my birthday was last week, and Chris's is this week. This weekend, though, we went to the car show, and the object was to find my replacement car and one for my parents. They were
The
successful. They found
Philadelphia International Car Show.
something. The
Yes.
Philadelphia International Car Show.
Just making sure.
the whole time we said, whatever you do, don't lick your hands. So that was good, and we tried not to do that.
It was day one, so it wasn't quite as disgusting as it is later on.
But you know what? It was still pretty disgusting. So we went.
I just set it down.
And I sat in a lot of cars, and I came up with some things that I like and some that I didn't. And going for wagons. Jeff, did you have your hand up?
I did. I was going to say, but finish your story. Get me after you.
No, I sat in a bunch of wagons. I was wondering, wagons and small SUVs. I think I'm going for the wagons first. Any ideas what's in the running?
That's what I was raising my hand for. I wanted to get to the question.
Go ahead.
Jaguar.
You have already mentioned that you were in love with the F-Pace.
They didn't have one.
So no. They had an F-Pace. They didn't have an XF Sport Brake.
They didn't have the Sport Brake. Okay. I'm going to say it was German, and it was a wagon, and it was a Mercedes.
You are wrong.
Oh.
I actually said I didn't really like that one. It's in the running, but we already have one, and it would just be just like this. I got it.
Too redundant.
Kinda, but we'll see. Bill, what do you think?
A Volvo station.
So
He's pointing at mine when he does that.
Holy crap, the new Volvo station wagons. The interior is unbelievable. I almost feel like it's Rolls-like. I mean, not new Rolls, like our old
like
Rolls.
Like 1969 Rolls-like.
The door was so heavy. The driver's seat has massaging seats.
Ooh.
Like, it has plush leather that's like your couch. I mean, it was unbelievable. I still don't like how Volvos look. I don't like the big pointy nose type thing, like the new ones. So, no, not in the running.
Also not available in 3-pedal.
No.
No, none of these are. None of these are.
No, that's not true. 2 of them are, dude.
Well, none of the big wagony things are.
But
Cool,
it's
fine, keep going.
2019 where the third pedal's not really needed because these transmissions shift so quick now.
Bite your tongue.
Don't
guest,
care.
Or you will get thrown off
Don't care. Nope. 3 pedals. As much as we can try. So
well, you do it as often as you can, obviously.
The new Mazda 3 was there. The brand new one. They would not open the trunk, and I was very mad. Because of course the trunk space is the biggest.
Got released-ish, like just got released.
I tried to bribe the guy, and he was like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay, just open the trunk. Just let me see."
Let me see.
I was like, "Drop the seat down and let me see." No, not a thing.
It's broken.
I don't care. They have apparently
they couldn't do it.
Cool thing that it projects your stuff onto the windshield. Did you know that's a thing?
Like a heads-up display?
Heads-up display.
Oh yeah.
Heads-up display. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the one that nobody came up.
Broadcast your stuff on the windshield. I'm like, Mental's testicles? I don't know. What are we talking about?
Thank God, no. Lastly, the Honda.
Yeah.
Which Honda?
Which
Civic
one?
Type R. And it's amazing.
I like the Civic Type R.
It's up there. The hatch space was great. The biggest thing I can't get over is the damn wing. It's huge. We pretended to eat lunch off the back of it because it was huge. It's huge. So we'll see now. Yes.
So the Civic Type R is on the list.
Totally. It's
totally
good. It's nice.
So it's essentially
racy.
the Jag XF Sport Brake, the Mercedes E-Class wagon.
Which wasn't there, so we couldn't see it.
Yeah. The wagon
yes.
you didn't like, the E-Class you didn't like.
It's okay.
Meh.
For the amount of money that we'd be paying for it, probably should.
The Volvo is maybe on the list.
No, I don't like how the Volvo looks. When I turn around and look at the car, I'm just like, nah, I don't like how it looks.
You've seen in a Type R?
Oh, but it's cool.
Do you work at a hospital?
No.
I work in safety, actually.
So the Volvo.
She sells propane and propane
Chrissy.
accessories.
What?
Don't they sell the Type R in safety green?
Yes.
You know what? I didn't see
No,
big
that's
bright
the
electric
SI. That's the SI, Jeff.
SI. Oh.
Was they only had boring colors of the Type R?
They have
No, it was bright blue.
White, red, blue. Anyway,
yeah,
black.
we'll have to look at it.
Whatever.
So that was the list.
Okay.
Yeah, the one car that I did fall in love with that is completely excessive, the Velar.
The hell is a Velar?
Range Rover.
Land Rover.
Oh,
It's completely excessive.
No,
It has
terrible
touchscreen,
choice.
everything. I basically said when I drive this car, I'm sure I would feel like an ass. I'm
What's
like,
interesting
I
is
should
it's
just
only
like
a
run over
four-cylinder.
puppies and it doesn't matter. You're just like, I'm queen of the world, and I would just be like, sorry, not sorry. So I think that's completely excessive.
Yeah, my brother got one of those about 3 months ago. He loves it.
Oh,
Oh, well, I just insulted your brother. I apologize.
No, you're pretty much spot on.
Okay, great.
Not
Okay,
the brother that gave me the Volvo wagon, the other one.
okay.
Okay.
All right,
Got
so
it.
I apologize for dominating. Mental, what you working on? Tell us your story now.
So I had a bad driver. I'm nauseous. I'm going out. I get out of the car, get another driver. I'm nauseous. I get back out of the car. An hour before we're clearing the track, I come in. Kid's actually doing a good job. It's not going to work. And I said, all right, dude, you're going to have to pull in. Why? And my response to that was, now I kept it all in the helmet.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no!
Then the second wave came,
Oh.
Oh
and one yelled at me for getting a speck on the Porsche. But then I spent the rest of the day taking my helmet apart and cleaning everything.
Oh.
Oh.
Don't instruct dehydrated.
Hey, did you have the videos running in the car at the time?
Yep.
Do you have a copy?
Pulled it out. Gave it away before that kid. Yeah, no, he got a free ride, so good on him.
Was
But yeah,
somebody
no.
else that didn't throw up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have throw up on my bingo card?
I was gonna
Someone
say,
pukes. Hell
used to
yeah!
It used to be on the bingo card.
All right.
Someone pukes. It's totally on there.
Great. And Metzel, do you want to roll into properly introducing our guest?
Absolutely. Now, if we mentioned we are here in the lovely Road
Yep,
Atlanta,
you
Michigan Speedway Road Atlanta paddock, and we have with us Bill Strong, marketing director for Champcar. And we've been talking on the phone, and we actually managed to make this work. So we pulled him away from the tech for the Road Atlanta, or 14 Hours at Road Atlanta. And Bill, why don't you tell us what you're working on?
Well, I've been working on a lot of stuff for Champcar, pretty much 14, 15, 20-hour, 25-hour days for the last couple of weeks. Just with Mike Chiswick and crew, we've been getting ready for this race. And, yeah, it seems like 25-hour days. But it's been a lot of work. My family pretty much doesn't know me anymore. Every now and then I go outside and look at I have kind of a manly truck, not a Nissan. I have a Ram 2500. Sorry.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But it's got check engine lights on. It's a 2014. So I don't know if that's normal. So I've been debating taking it to the Dodge dealership to see if they can kind of sort that out for me.
Ooh, is that an International Harvester I see back there?
Oh, no, I was trying to turn it.
Oh,
into
that's
a
our
minivan.
champ. That's our
I
new
wanted-
champ.
I
That's
wanted
our
to see his
champ
minivan.
Oh yeah, my shit van, or we call it the shit van. My daughter, my 16-year-old or 17-year-old daughter calls it the shit van. They refuse to get in it. I got it for $1. It's a '98 Toyota Sienna, and it's a great van mechanically. And so I've been driving it around for at least 6 months without it being registered, and I didn't realize that.
Nice.
You get something in the mail that says, "Hey, you need your registration's due." Well, completely missed that one, and I found out yesterday that I needed to register it, so I registered it.
That's
So-
good.
Usually that's
Literally
law
our
abiding.
kind of
Expired
people.
tags, so I was waiting to get pulled over, but nobody
Well,
pulled me over.
No, but that just proves the axiom. Like the middle-aged guy in the minivan not getting pulled over.
Not getting pulled over.
No kidding. Sucks.
In Jersey, they run the tag readers.
Oh yes.
So that if they're just driving by you, their computer will bling and you're getting
So I
pulled
think
over.
we can click New Jersey
I
sucks
think
off
a lot of
for
states
them.
do that too. So I know
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia, so we do that. So I've been working. I've worked on that. I've got a couple of champ cards. I've got a 73 Opel GT that my son and I have that we've raced a few times. It's the slowest car in Champ Car. We've caused a lot of accidents with it, which has been kind of hilarious because we ended up finishing the races, but the cars that hit us had some hard times finishing. Actually, my teammate hit me one time.
That
That's
happens.
the worst.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
We do.
Inter-team red mist. It's always terrible.
We do that.
Actually, we had it here. We were in like 5th place, and the leader of the race was Biohazard MR2, Troy Trulio's car, and we're sister cars and teammates. And coming out of the top of the hill here, my driver decided to make an outside pass, which a lot of cars do, a lot of drivers do. Well, Troy's driver didn't see that and kind of drifted outwards, and they collided, and we took out the leader of the race.
Oops.
Yeah, that was our first
hate
incident
that.
ever. We've had a couple since, but I think they were trying to get payback, but they suffered the worst. They tried to take out the Opel at Sebring, and that didn't work out for them. They were in 2nd place, and they ended up finishing. I think we beat them. But,
You know, when you're at a race, there's certain things that you don't want to hit.
yeah,
The emergency vehicle, you don't want to hit those.
It's very frowned upon.
The track dryer, as we've seen,
Did
and
somebody-
the organizer's vehicle. Like, those are the 3 things you try
well,
not
you don't
to
want
hit.
to. You don't want to hit your teammate's car either. No.
Beer will take care of that, but you know.
You're a car owner. You don't want to.
Oh,
hit
no,
the team.
which we are, but we just you don't. Then you have 2 cars to fix, and and then you get in trouble.
Yep. And then I have my MR2 that I kind of look at every now and then, the yellow 79 car. We raced it in December, broke an axle, and it's still sitting in the trailer. I go look at it every now and then and think, should I take it out? Nah, it's just going to stay in there. We're done racing that car.
It keeps the trailer from floating away. That's important.
Yes, it does.
So,
Yeah.
good.
Well, if it's an
Jeff
enclosed
Wakeman.
trailer, your neighbors won't be a
Yeah.
problem.
No,
It's
well,
the
my
Jeff
neighbor's my
Wakeman
mother-in-law,
approach to-
so
It
my
is.
mother-in-law's, she's next door, and we have our shop. We all have one big compound that's unfenced.
Oh.
So it's my house, my mother-in-law, so I can hide cars all over the property.
Oh,
that's
I
nice.
need that.
We're
Yeah,
all
you
like,
do.
"What? We need that.
Then you would have kept the Avalanche just for field truck.
Yep.
Yard car, and then when the yard car is too late,
Yeah, I have a
then
lot
it
of
becomes-
yard cars.
then
Got a lot
the
of
yard
those.
car becomes
They're
a
all
shooting
MR2s, though. No, I do have a Celica yard car, an all-track. Remember the GT?
Oh,
yeah.
I
yeah.
have one of those as yard art as well.
That's a
One
good
day
yard
that's
car.
going to get a 4-liter V8 in it.
And when the
That'll
yard
work.
car gets too bad as a yard car, it becomes a shooting car, and then you can do a drive-by on
Hey,
the yard.
hey, these are
shooting
my
car
lines.
from
These
the
are
yard
my
car.
lines. Patriots fan, you don't get to talk this kind of trash.
And then demo derby. You win all over the place.
Oh,
You just there's the evolution of the
It's a
car.
cycle of life.
I'm a little jealous.
All right,
Maybe we should move
That's
on.
all I'm doing.
we're ready to move on.
Alrighty. News and notes time. Who's going first?
I'll take it.
Mental.
You go.
So there was a race with a series, and out of deference to our guest, we'll just go through the results rather quickly. So
That's all right.
the IOE was slant 6, and there's
Wait, this is. I'm
64
sorry.
values.
This is
Lemons, right?
Lem-
That's lemons?
lemons
Yeah.
at Barber. You didn't
Lemons
say
at Barber.
what
Yeah,
we're
joking.
talking about here.
I deliberately didn't say lemons at Barber. So IOE slant 6, and there's 64 Valiant. Overall, and Class A went to Lemonade Racing in their
Boring.
BMW E30. Class B was Surreal Time Racing in a Honda Civic. Way to go, Chris. And the God's Chosen Class winner was our buddies, the Knox Vegas Lowballers, in that TR7, the 1980 Triumph Bendy that they
TR8.
call it. So,
TR8.
TR8. Org Choice was the D team in an 87 Vet.
It was teal, too.
It was
Yeah.
tragic.
It
like
was.
really, really
so
tragic.
bad. Heroic Fix was the old dudes in that deceptively pretty 65 Ranchero of theirs. Judge's Toys was one of our funny teams, the Dodgy Racing in their 88 Dodge. They were from Dodge
yeah,
City, Alabama.
We picked that one last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Got Screwed was Mock Grass Racing in their 98 Kia Sophia. Other finishers of note, Save the Tatas were third overall. The Tetanus Z got fifth. Squirt and Coronas got a mere 34 laps, and the Three-Pedal Mafia Moonshine Division managed 114. And true to Jeff's prediction, the GRM with their Tom Lamino VW Fox managed 0.0 laps.
They didn't even
Oh.
get a single lap.
Nope, not
That's a
the bonus.
shame.
Yeah.
And finally, the Bros with Hose managed 11 hours of racing in that 1987 Buick Grand National,
Awesome.
209 laps. They'll be praised.
There you go. Do it for Dale, everybody.
Wait a second. 11 hours with the Grand National Turbo, or was it just a Grand National?
We don't know what
We
motor
don't
was in.
care. We just love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I used to sell those new.
Oh, you wish you would have bought one and put it in the trailer.
We were a Shelby dealership and a Buick dealership, and the Shelbys were a little not quicker, but they were just more fun.
Yeah, but which one's worth more now?
Oh yeah, the Grand National.
The Grand
GNX.
National. Yeah. All right. So next story. Fake. I'm supposed to do that with the Seinfeld. Fake. So in case you haven't seen, Jerry Seinfeld recently sold what he claims was one of approximately 56 GT/GS Carrera Speedsters built with alloy panels, and it is believed to be the sole example originally finished in Artorium green. I'm guessing on how to pronounce that color. The car is an extremely rare Type 692 4-cam engine, and he sold it for a ton of money, and the new owner got it and said, wait, this thing's not real.
Like
and Jerry's
$1.6 million.
$1.6 million, yes. $1.6 million. The guy gets it and says, I don't think this is what you think it is.
So Seinfeld actually called him up or emailed him or something and said he was extremely sorry about it and that he would take care of it. The money would be back. Lawyers got involved. Now it's just going.
Now it's a
down.
mess. Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld surely does not need the $1.6 million. He'll take the car back in a heartbeat. As I read the story, Jerry Seinfeld was paid for the restoration, and his restoration Porsche expert says, no, it's real, and the buyer has not really produced any evidence that it is real, and Jerry has already offered to buy it back for the exact same price. So it sounds like lawyers be lawyering.
Yep.
Cool.
Why do we have to go to court? Why? Just take the money.
What's the deal
1.6?
with that?
Let me check under my couch, Jerry Seinfeld. let me dole that out for you. There you go.
Okay, moving on. In the week leading up to the Rolex 24 Hours, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, we mentioned the all-lady lineup. Number 57 Caterpillar sponsored NSX, which was awesome sauce. Teammate Porsche connoisseur Steph Schrader had a chance to sit down and interview the team during the race, and the Autoblog published her article, and the link is in our notes. NSX was near the top of GT Daytona class for most of the race. During the mayhem ensued in the wet, which we were talking about, Steph quoted from them, there are only 38 minutes of green flag racing in the final 9 hours of the race due to the standing water on track, which, Bill's shaking his head.
Oh, no, I'm just...
He's saying it's a shame.
Shaking my head that it was just...
it happened. So the standing water on the track caused many cars, including the Acura, to hydroplane crash after losing time on the repair and front-end damage. Teams finished 13th out of 23 cars in the GTD class. Not bad for their first time out, and everybody had problems, so hopefully it's when they get back out next time, they will do better than they did before.
They're going to dominate.
Absolutely.
Well,
Go
They'll
NSX.
dominate.
they're doing more than just Daytona. They're talking about Le Mans and some other aspirations as well.
We will see them again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Catherine Legg had a part-time drive last year. She got to, I think, about half the races in the series.
There was an all-girls team that raced in 91. The year the Mazda won the 24-hour of Mons. There was an all-women's. I was there. There was an all-women's team there driving a Ferrari. Lynn St. James and 3 other women. They ended up breaking
herself. Oh, yeah.
They ended up breaking the chassis, and it was really cool. Not that they broke the chassis, but it was really cool sitting across the pit lane up in the stands at about 2 a.m. while they were trying to fix the chassis and get it back out, because you could just watch it, look straight into their garage and watch them work, which was actually really, really interesting for me. But it was kind of sad to see them go, because they were really quick during practice.
Yep. They'll be back.
Absolutely. And hey, there's another race we're going to be talking about more in just a few minutes. The Champcar 14 Hours of Road Atlanta. So far, from what we've heard, it's 79 cars. 20 of those are BMWs, which are boring. 22 Miatas, 3 Hondas, 7 Porsches, and a pair of Camaro birds. Right up Mental's alley there in Georgia. Surprised it's only a pair. Anyway, we're going to be cheering for a lot of folks, including John Artman and the Never Start Racing Single Stick Neon. And keep an eye out.
He just drove by. That farting sound you guys heard was John's.
Oh, perfect.
Single damn Neon.
We're gonna keep an eye on the Tuttle Motorsports Eclipses, which are really fast when they hold together, but they won't because DSM. That's just how it works, Jeff.
Yep.
Other teams to watch: the Cone Crushers, 87-944. They're no strangers to the podium. Levinthian Motorsports and that MR2 Longtail. Leviathan, thank you. Appreciate it. And then the well-run but very boring named Matt Connolly Motorsports. Like, really, Matt? You can't do better than that. Hey, they usually do a nice job out there. So, Bill, any other favorites that we should be watching, or do you have to stay neutral in this?
I don't have to stay neutral. I never do.
Perfect.
I'm kind of, I'm an MR2 driver. I have always been.
So you're not neutral, you're oversteer.
Troy Trulio and his Biohazard MR2 is here. The one that was in the huge crash here at AMP last year, they've rebuilt it. Actually, they rebuilt it overnight and went out the next morning and were able to take the lead. They were only kicked out of the race because their muffler blew up and he didn't have a spare muffler. But that car was bent in half like a banana after hitting the Porsche, and he repaired it, got it going. So he took it home, repaired it over the winter, and actually over the last month and a half. And it's ready to race. He should be showing up here in a little bit. I spoke to him this morning. He's a neighbor of mine.
We should mention to our listeners.
Just drove by the longtail MR2.
Yeah, the longtail MR2 it's quick. It's their drive. I would say their drivers are skilled, but not as skilled as what Troy's drivers are. He's got the big guys coming down, the guns. Some of my old drivers. He's actually won this race many times. I pick him if the car stays together. The other one would be not banned yet. They're a 240SX. They actually had the track record here last year. They were leading the race up until the very end when a wheel bearing failed on them. I think, have sorted that out, and I think they have the speed. They may not have the drivers this weekend that they had last year, but they have the speed to kick butt on this track. There's a few other cars, the Cone Crushers, and they'll do good. Doc Waldrop, if you watch our show whenever we do our show. When is that? Saturday.
We are recording on Thursday, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So on Saturday morning, you can watch a show. Doc Waldrop does a really good pre-race prediction. He does all the analytics on it. I just guess. He does a really good job at looking at the past and, talking to the teams and doing that stuff. So, and I just make up half the stuff I say.
we only half?
Yeah,
sure
just
you're
half.
on the right podcast?
Yeah, the other half I have no clue about, so I don't even try. Sorry.
All right. Don't forget, everyone, check your bingo cards. We heard wheel bearings and a few of other favorite ballots there.
I should also point out, Doc is the one who generously donated the table and the chairs that we're using right now.
He's standing in the doorway over here.
Thank
Come on over,
you.
Doc. No. He doesn't want. He's going to talk all weekend. He was resting his voice. So, plus he doesn't want to get all the women all hotted up here. He's famous for that.
I'm still paying off the last one.
He's still paying off the last one.
Well, why don't we pay some bills here? If you're looking for some quality auto parts at a quality price, well, if you're listening to this show, you probably are. Why not check out our friends at Mitch's Auto Parts in Detroit? Fellow Extreme Experience instructor Brandon, give him a call. Let him tap his nationwide network of providers and sources for quality recycled and even new and OEM parts. New parts? Why are you going to put that on your crappy race car? I don't know. Maybe you could put it on your daily driver or your tow pig. Get exactly what you need from fellow racers at prices that will pleasantly surprise you. If you listen to this, Brandon is currently working directly with us, gathering what we need to fuel Three Pedal Mafia's domination for 2019. So he must be out there looking for Chris's magical parts list to make our Honda whole again. So if you're looking for a new project or the basis for that next car build, Mitch's Auto Parts can not just help you locate that car, but they have the knowledge for that ill-advised engine swap. Can get you the parts you need to actually make it work right, instead of delivering it to you at 2 a.m. or instead of delivering 2 a.m. paddock frustration. But more than that, they can get it shipped to you anywhere in the country, even if you're not in the Big D. So call them up. Less than you expected. The link is in our notes. Just check out their website, mitchesautoparts.com, Mitch's Auto Parts, all one word, .com, or email them at mitchesautoparts.com.
Store at Mitch's Auto Parts.
Store at.
Or
you gotta use a little at symbol. I only
you do
recognize
a little at. Yeah. So hey, if you're not looking for parts because you don't want to work on the cars you drive, or you just don't care and have completely given up like Jeff, then check out Extreme Experience, which will put you in the driver's seat of some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Their 2019 travel schedule is up. Head to xxspeed.com and check it out, including New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Phoenix, Willow Springs, Texas Motor Speedway, Road America, Poconos, Utah Motorsports Campus. In addition to their normal standards, they've got 7 models of cars to choose from, including the 2019 Challenger Hellcat Widebody, 'cause America. They've got that year-round location in Nolans with Mental's favorite straightaway. Pro instructors like Jeff or Mental or me, and actually Mental this weekend is going to be at Willow Springs. Really, you're going to Willow this weekend, Mental? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I got to be at the airport at 4 a.m. I've already started hydrating.
Oh, that's cool. I've never been to
Good
Willow. I'm
idea.
looking forward to hearing about
Hey,
it.
Mental,
That's
I got
excellent.
a tip for you. Don't puke in your helmet this weekend.
Seriously.
Yep. So anyway, hey, they're going to help you explore the car's limits and learn to drive the racing line. Enter Everyone Racers, and you get 25% off at xxspeed.com. Extreme Experience, it's your turn.
So this just in, we're just as surprised as you might be to find out that we have several hundred listeners, we think, maybe, that are engaged in the world of motorsports that are listening to our show. If you have a business that you think you might benefit them, our sponsor section might be just the place to show off what you've got. So tonight we talked about Mitch's Auto Parts, who are totally helping us with our part selection, and we usually tell you about XX Speed and Lucky Dog, but chances are you have something you'd like to pimp. Make sure you come find us, tell us what you got, reach us at everyone.racers@gmail.com.
You know what else who's got something she'd like to pimp?
Oh, gosh.
Can I say it?
Sure, go
Please
ahead.
do.
Go for it, Bill.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Grace Mom.
Hey. Hold on. She needs a huge shout out.
Huge shout out.
She made Chris the best birthday cake
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
Birthday cake!
Yep. There's an entire pound of Oreos in the cake.
Holy
and
cow.
frosting.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's
It's great.
impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
awesome.
like that.
All right.
Listener
So-
feedback time. I've already done my yelling.
Yep.
All right. So, Jen M. commented on last week's show. I'm halfway through this week's episode, and my 2 favorite things so far are hearing Chris say, "Save the Tatas," and his flawless, all caps, segue from Centralia, PA to the sponsor. Good work, Chris Abbott.
Thanks, Jen M.
We had an actual iTunes review. I've been pimping to get actual iTunes reviews for a little while. So I'm going to try and pronounce this
We
correctly.
have like 25 of them. Which
We have 25, but a lot of they're not new. Nobody's put them in a while. Quixote, Ohio, 080. I don't know. It's a name, not a town in Ohio.
As we looked it up.
Yeah. So this is our greatest review ever. So Quixote, if you're out there, hit us up. We're sending you a sticker. It's titled, "Sometimes I Miss Being in the Garage Area at the Track." Quote, "Great show. The perfect example of the best laid plans being hilarious when it comes time for action. 4 people talking about car things, usually. Sometimes it's blenders, batteries, kitchen countertops. Freud would love this show, and so should you. Bingo square for Chris tries to eat and talk at the same time. Please, maybe a warning for that, for what time Chris starts and stops eating during the pod." Is quote. "It makes for great listening at work."
Sarcasm. You missed the line of
Sarcasm.
sarcasm.
I wasn't going to say sarcasm.
Oh,
I tried
my.
Okay. Sarcasm makes for great listening at work. End sarcasm.
Yes.
This is Coyote. I actually asked, "Are you freaking eating?" out loud at work, and the person with the desk next to mine apologized because he was. 20 minutes later, that's all cleared up. I hope.
Oh my gosh. We laughed about this. This is awesome. Thank you.
And just for the record, Kitty, today it's Bill eating pizza, not me eating gummy bears. So
Yeah, so I haven't ate today.
yeah,
It's totally legal. It's
Yeah.
no problem. It's
Hey, we
inappropriate
appreciate
for
your
Chrissy
feedback.
coming
I saw all the Champcar guys walk by me holding boxes of pizzas and saying no to me as they walked by.
Oh.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
They're going to say no to the guy with the giant bully pulpit? That's not smart.
You can eat whatever you want. Chris can't eat gummy bears during the show. Okay.
No.
Lastly, this just in. Shout out to Matt F, who was looking for our show to be up today. He's like, wait, no podcast? And this is what he said. The crappy T-Bird did well this past weekend. The drivers, not so much. So I don't know what exactly happened, but I did see a picture of his teammate, Bruce, not our Bruce, his Bruce, riding the back of a convertible, waving like the like a queen, like
the queen.
Yeah, sure. And he was Miss Lemon's.
Yes. Some sort of penalty, Miss Lemon's.
Yes, that's all I know. What do you know?
Matt F had said second in B, and he basically said they stepped on their own wiener. Or maybe it was second in C. It was second in whatever class.
It wasn't C. That thing
wasn't
is.
C. That T-Bird is
not
that's not God's chosen class material.
So they said we're second in B. Let the wiener stepping begin, and it had a picture of the front end of that Aero Bird crashed, and then 3 miles from their home, the trailer lost a tire. So.
No, they took a corner too hard, and it dipped into. This is the second time they've done it at this corner. I think it's at John's
it's pulling
house.
into the driveway at John's house. They
yeah,
swung too wide.
They did it wrong the second time. And then he's like, really going the other way, and they always go in the wrong way. So they did this before in his driveway.
What happens?
They dropped wheels off the side of the road. And there's like a 12-inch drop off on the side of this, so the wheels drop off.
So they're like.
The axles just drag the ground. Yeah.
I saw the picture. I thought it was a flat tire because it was like.
So that's wiener stepping after the race.
Yeah.
Well, they had some during the race too.
Pulling into your driveway, wiener stepping. Oh well.
So Matt, next time you just leave a comment on our Facebook, you just tell us more and we'll read it on the air. So that would be a thing.
No, we like
anyway
editorializing ourselves.
Apparently, we're just gonna make up the story. Okay, Big time.
As you guys have noticed, our guest tonight is Bill Strong, who's playing with a blue light on his microphone and lighting up his beard.
Get closer to the mic.
So he's the marketing director for Champcar, as well as the host for Champcar Live. You can follow almost every race of Champcar this season live on YouTube and on Facebook. It's great coverage. They've got in-car cameras. They've got pit lane interviews. Bill, would you introduce yourself for our tens of listeners?
I am Bill Strong, and I'm a racing addict. So much so that I retired from the University of Virginia and went to work doing this crap. I mean, stuff.
Yep, that's about right.
Working with crap cans, that's it. No, working with Champcar. Kind of been working with them for, I think, 4 years now. Started on as their web guy to redo it right before John Condren left the company, and kind of stayed on, forced my way into certain areas like social media, and they liked what I did, and they brought me on, and it's just got way out of hand.
Would you consider what you do employment or voluntary?
Yes, I am a full-time employee of Champcar.
Got it.
I work this 8 hours a day or more.
Can you say there were 25 hours in this day?
Yes.
Your day, unlike our days that only have 24.
Oh my God, it's an insane amount of work because there's a lot to do with putting on a race series if you want to do it right. And our goal was to make this, these junky cars that these guys race, but give them a heck of an experience. And part of it was let's give them a show. Let's talk to them. Let's show them how they're doing. Let the world know how these guys race. And it's like I said, it's just got way out of hand.
Yeah, you guys, you are the communications director. Or
I'm the marketing director.
Marketing director.
Yeah, marketing and media director.
Media director.
Whatever Mike wants me to do, he's like Mike Chiswick, the CEO. He makes me do so.
Oh, those duties as assigned.
Yeah, marketing. I fake it the whole time. So
yeah. But you're in charge of that whole broadcast thing that they do. Right?
Yeah. Before you jump into that, Jeff, I do want to ask him. Tell us how, because you retired from the University of Virginia, and you and I were talking on the phone. You're an old Air Force guy like me. Check that on your bingo card.
Oh. Oh, I need that.
Ammo. I'm
Yes.
an ammo.
What got you started in racing, and up until obviously the job you have now, where's it taking you?
Well, back in I joined the Air Force in '81, got stationed over in England, and fell in love with road racing over there. The what do you call it? The British Touring Car Championship, and
Yep.
that kind of got me going. And here's Troy Trulio just rolling up here.
Yeah.
My buddy. I haven't seen him in a couple of months. How you doing, man? We're gonna hug and kiss and
Yeah.
stuff. No, don't.
Okay.
Oh, too bad we're not a video podcast, because that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
hilarious. So I got tickets to the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch. I think it was '82 or '83, and I fell in love with it. It just like, wow, this is awesome. Back then you could buy for £10 a pit pass, walk through the pit. I met Ayrton Senna before he was driving in Formula One. Talked to him for a little bit. He was sitting on his tire, just sitting there, nobody around him. It was pretty awesome. Talked to him for a little bit. You could walk the course, which was insane. You can't do that nowadays. A car crashed not 30 yards in front of me. We kind of walked up. I took a bunch of pictures of it as the driver's jumping out. And I mean, you can't do that now.
No.
So,
For good reason, really.
Yes. I don't know. It wasn't that dangerous then. Yeah. It was.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But
Cars can be stopped by hay bales, according to what I see.
back then, yes.
Yeah.
So I followed cars and kind of did that stuff. And I came back to Phoenix. I bought a house, and one of my neighbors ran the Chrysler Proving Grounds when it was first starting it. They were opening it, and he was bringing home some really cool cars, and we'd go test drive them. And one of his drivers came out and said, and I had a Corolla GTS that I bought brand spanking new in '85. In '84, it was an '85 model. You guys are young. You know about the AE86.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were absolute crap cars when they were new because they did not want to turn. So it took a lot to make them to turn. Of course, now that's what makes it
What
so
it's
popular.
famous for, yeah,
That's what it's
exactly.
famous for, is the drifting aspect of it. But I was super. I was into mini trucks and stuff like that back in the early '80s, and so I was playing with it. And this guy said, "Dude, stop doing that, and let's go to an autocross." So we rode out to at the time Firebird Raceway. We spoke about that earlier today. That was my local track, and did my first autocross and was just blown away by it. It was so much so my wife at the time did not have a driver's license, so I had to drive home. But I was so exhausted from the 3 runs I did, and I did a bunch of free, those $5 runs afterwards. I did a whole bunch of those, but I was just so exhausted. I just remember driving home thinking, this is just insane. I love this so much. And it escalated into me stripping out the Corolla, making it an EP car, and just having fun with it. We tried we did our first pro solo in '87 in San Diego, completely wiped out about 9,000 cones. And, and then I broke the Corolla, ran out of money. We got stationed back over in Europe, and I tried racing over there. Didn't work out so well. Ran out of money really fast because it's really expensive to race in Europe, and kind of got out of it. I started mountain bike racing and doing when I was skinny and young, and while at that, came back here, met a new woman, and she asked me what kind of car I wanted because I didn't have a car. I just rode my bike everywhere, and she said, "You can't ride your bike in Virginia in the middle of winter, so you need to get a car." And I said, "No." She said, "Yes." And so I said, "Okay." So I bought an MR2. I'd always wanted a first-gen MR2. And she found one like 5 minutes later for me. Perfect woman. Found me a car. Took it home and had a blast with it. And that kind of led into me starting up joining a car forum, which led me to kind of I got asked to take it over back in 2001. And that was the MR2 OC. And I made it my full-time company or a company of mine, and kept that until 2013 when I sold it to a Canadian firm, and then took that money and went racing. And that's where I looked at my wife and I said, I'm going to pay off my bills. The excess money, I'm going to go race. And she said, "It's your money." So did that and bought a trailer and a truck and whole shitload of parts, and we went racing. Had a really good team of guys, and we did we've done over 70 races in Champcar. I've done I've won one. I've podiumed a whole ton of times, and a ton. I don't know how many that is, but it's a lot of trophies. And that kind of led me to where I'm at now. The job is awesome. We had a goal of bringing as much of what the pros do to our racers, and that goal has been done. So Paulie Veltum, who's our producer for the show, I'm just the guy that sets up the local stuff, but Paulie actually puts on the show. Paulie's probably one of the hardest working guys in Champcar. He builds a show, puts it on all from his home studio. We have a studio in Indiana. We ship all the information back to him, all the data. He puts it together, and then Doc and I and Tiffany, we sit there and mumble and stutter on for 24 hours while he's there, switches cameras and does all the hard stuff. And then yells at us a lot off camera.
Well, that's important.
Stop talking over Doc. Stop making fun of Doc. That kind of stuff. Stop saying MR2 every other sentence. So, it's fun. We have a blast. It's grown to the point of it's completely out of control. It's costing me an absolute fortune. Champcar pays for parts of it, but most of the stuff my company pays for. It's a very expensive endeavor to put on a live show at a 14-hour, 24-hour race.
That's why no one else covers it, really.
Yeah, it's and nobody wants to watch it for 24 hours, let alone not for 24 hours. But you know what? So we've done 4 24 hours, Doc. Is it 420 that we've broadcast? No, 5 or 6 actually. I forgot. We did 3 last year. We've done 5 or 6 24-hour races, and we will start. We start. We go live half an hour before the race, and we stay about 30 minutes to 40 minutes after the race. So you're looking at, and then that's not including all the pre stuff we do before the. So basically, a 24-hour race is about 36 hours.
Yeah,
wow,
insane amount of time.
And you're broadcasting most of the series at this point, right? How much of the Champcar series you run?
So right now we have, I believe it's 28 races this year. I counted it together. 29 races. I'm broadcasting 28. The only reason I cannot broadcast our Nebraska race is because we have Sebring going on the same day.
I was going to say there's a couple weekends that Champ is running multiple.
No, that's the only one. So, and that's the only one I can't do. So I'm here this weekend. I get home, hop on a plane, fly out to California. Next weekend I'm doing Sonoma. Then I fly back. We do VIR, I think 2 weeks later. And then a week later I fly out to Harris Hill, Texas, do a race out there. And then I don't know where I'm at after that. That's the only plane tickets I bought so far. But yeah, we're gonna do every race. Paulie and I and Doc have spent the last probably 4 weeks getting the plans down, getting our commercials in place, getting our sponsors ready, getting pretty much all the background pictures that we use for it. That's kind of what I do. I do all the graphic arts for us, and I'm teaching Paulie how to do some of this.
Well, that's a crazy schedule for one broadcast team.
Yeah.
Because it's almost every weekend. And I mean, Champ doesn't even run that way because there's not the same, they operate with multiple race directors and multiple everything else.
Yeah, we have 3 race directors, and we have multiple crews throughout the country. We have one crew, West Coast crew, Central crew, and an East crew. But we move them around. They just don't. We have some West Coast people that will fly out to do East Coast. What we want to do, and we've had this issue in the past where Champcar or Champcar it was known, you would get a different experience when you went to California than you would get when you went to the East Coast or when you went to the Central. Not necessarily as much in the Central. So one of the things Mike and I talked about, because one of the benefits I had is I actually went and raced back west, back when we had these issues. And I saw some stuff. And when I came back, I talked to the board and to my boss, Mike Chiswick, and I said, this isn't right. We need to do the same experience you get here as you get back there. Mike totally agreed, because I'm pretty certain they were all talking the same thing. And that's our goal. is the experience you get racing at VIR is the same experience you're going to get racing at Laguna Seca, with the exception of the red flag because California requires that now. But the lunchtime rigs.
Yeah.
Yes. We just
you know,
experienced that.
We know all about that.
Yeah, but that's part of racing. It's like endurance racing. It's like this. If you're doing an endurance race and 20 hours into the race, a big rainstorm comes up, do you stop the race?
Yes.
Or do you let it continue? No, you let it continue unless it's lightning. Now, there may be some series out there that might stop it. I'm not going to say that
NASCAR.
But it really pissed me off because we would
Competition caution.
Yes, we have raced. Wow.
Oh.
You look at
Woo! America!
Camaro.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Bald eagles flying into the carburetor. I can see it happening.
Spelled with an E, though. Make sure.
Mini cycle. So, but they, so we've done some 24s where I've actually been involved in where you could not see past the hood of the car. That's how hard it was racing. And we just kept going. And it would not, raining. It was just raining so hard. The only time we'll stop a race is for lightning, tornadoes, and stuff like that.
And that's for the corner work.
And that was for the
That's
corner,
for the corner workers, exactly.
Yeah.
More dangerous for them in the little shacks than it is in the
Yes.
cars.
Yeah.
I was actually at that VAR race where it flooded the track. I was racing with John Artman, and holy snakes, it was like just an inch of standing water. I think my top speed was 20, but I was picking up laps on everybody else that quit racing.
This year's?
No, it was
Okay.
2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, there was one race we did where we were leading. We were first or second place. We might have been. Well, we were leading at first. I think the one of the E30s passed us up in the MR2, and we. I remember coming out of Hog Pen, and there was so much water built up there that a car. As I went around, I went to pass a car on the outside, which he really shouldn't have done, but everybody was going slow enough that he wasn't going to drift out. But he kicked up so much water, it came in my passenger window and straight onto my lap. And I'm just like,
Been there.
Been there, done that. No fun.
You have no idea what the tidal wave that enters an S10 window when you forge 4 inches of water right next to a competitor. It's
cold.
It's like a bucket coming in on you.
Now I really enjoy doing it to other cars, though.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who.
Guy. I'm sorry, I'm really that guy. That's why
Some
they
people
call me
deserve
the
it.
Dick.
You say,
They call me the Dick here now. So my other job is I'm the decal inspection and Doc, what is that? The decal inspection and compliance officer. So
Nice.
I'm the guy.
That's like my normal day job title is.
Decal inspection compliance officer.
Compliance.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Commissar.
it's a very
So
important
we had a lot
role.
of problems last year. The guys just, we would give them a piece of, we gave them the rule book how to place their stickers. I don't know what it is about racers, but you basically have to give them a picture.
It doesn't
says,
look cool.
"Put
That's
your
why I don't
sticker
want
here."
it there.
No, guys would just start putting them all over the car, the roof. I would not be surprised if there were guys with stickers under the sills. That's how.
Well, sometimes you got to hold together the rust, so.
Right?
That's true. But we made decal, or we made instructions this year, and my job is to go around and make sure they put them all on and they use them. We had a lot of sponsors last year that asked for pictures of the cars. So I take a lot of my other job is to take pictures of the cars at the track as they're racing, and I post them up, and some reason guys like my
sponsors want to see it.
Yes, and they want to see those, and so they hey, you got any pictures of the cars, the winning cars? And I go and oh yeah, I do. Oh shit, they don't have their sponsor. They don't have their decals on. They flew off or something, or maybe they just didn't put them on. I know I gave them the sticker, so we.
Well, you Photoshop it before you give it to the sponsor.
Yes, but sometimes
No, I mean that's not the right answer at all.
No, it's not. And so the right answer was my job is to make certain that as these guys go through tech, they have their stickers in the right spot. So we don't care what stickers they have from other series on their cars. We don't really care because we know a lot of these guys run with other series like Lucky Dog or WRL or AER or even NASA and SCCA. So we don't care as long as they have our stickers on it in the place that we told them to. So far they're doing it today. I've had to yell at two guys because they didn't want to do it, but told them, you don't have to start the race. You can sit in pit lane all you want.
Yeah.
So,
I'll defer to the group for a question here, or I'll jump in.
Go for
ahead,
it.
you go.
So, were you the whatever director you are when the name change happened?
Yes.
Chump to Champ. So
Actually, I was a part-timer at the time, but I the day that 2 months before we made the change over Thanksgiving weekend, because I went to the beach. I remember I had to do the change from the beach on vacation.
Nice.
But
okay.
Hold on, honey. I got to log on to the website and change the headers.
Pretty much. Dinner can wait. The turkey can wait. No, I was involved from the start on that. So I actually had a couple of names that I had chosen. I'd done up the logos for. We kind of had an agreement. Nobody was happy about it, what I'd chosen, and we had a bunch.
Please tell us.
I can't. But we made some name choices. They didn't really jive with what we were or what we are.
So you were searching for a new name before.
Yes, and it's somebody had said use Champcar, and I'm like, we can't. It's taken by IRL, and they go, no, it's not. Now, tick 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 tick. Internet time. Sorry, I was making my fingers go up.
That's if we understand that.
Yeah.
So I'm typing away. I'm looking at it. Sure enough, it's not. It's no longer copyrighted. So
they dropped the copyright.
They dropped the copyright. So just to make sure we didn't piss off the world, because we knew we were going to piss off a lot of people out there, because of the IRL Champcar issues.
Yeah, nobody likes the current name.
We have friends in high places. They went and asked the IRL. They had a big meeting with them. And the IRL looked at the guy and says, nobody's using it? And we said, no, that you guys had it. We don't want it. Go have fun with it. And so we did.
That's great.
So, we finally got the copyright through, and we now hold the copyright on Champcar as of the registered trademark as of, I think 4 months ago.
So you were using it before you had the copyright?
Well, we could use it. You could get a trademark on it.
Yeah.
But we have lawyers in high places again, and they pushed everything through on us. It got denied the first time. Some people posted that. The reason it got denied is the way that we worded it. You can't register the word endurance racing. That's what you're doing. And so the way they worded it was just wrong. So we put it through again properly, and it was which was cool.
Cool. And just you mentioned that it was going to definitely piss off some people. Anybody like any funny stories from haters? Or
yeah, we were going to put on a race up in the Northwest. Unfortunately, the track at Oregon decided to give us the race date on the same date that they were running the IRL race in Oregon City or whatever. Seattle, not Seattle. That's Washington.
Oregon.
Yeah, somewhere in Oregon. Huh? Portland, yes.
Portland International. Yeah.
So they were just one guy that's really dogs on us. I think he works for Lucky Dog. He looks for one of those companies up there. And he just ragged on me about, that was on the same day as that. I'm not going to do it. I'm like, dude, just record the race. And, man, he just blew up. I thought it was funny. Just DVR it, man.
So nobody's showing up with, open wheels, in the wrong, nobody's pulling in oh, crap, we're the wrong race.
Well, or they go, we're going to dominate.
Yeah, well, we get guys like that all the time. But, we have this new rule where you have to have fenders over the tires. So that created a lot of controversy over the winter as guys tried to figure out the rule on how to place a fender over the tire. Some of these guys run 285s and 315s and 345s on their little Miatas. So, trying to fit a fender over that's a little difficult.
But that's it's an important safety rule because you can roll on top of people.
I disagreed with it.
Okay.
I was told to shut up. Because I like wide tires, and I'm just going to stay out of it because I'm not part of tech. I'm the marketing guy.
Box
we
flares,
ended up with a
box flares
Mustang
are
tire.
sexy. Just flare those suckers out.
So
keep those 285s on your Miata. Just build that frickin' fender out.
I have an Opel GT, and we're going to make it look like a Zach Speed Capri. If you know what that is, look it up. Zach Speed Capri.
Zach Speed Capri. I will Google while someone else asks a question.
Zach Speed Capri. It is so badass. I saw it race back in the early 80s, and it had a little 1.4 liter turbocharged 4 that developed like 700 horsepower. It was an insane car. But it's that's kind of what I'm going to make my Opel GT look like, I think. Still debating. But
Nice.
But yeah, the name change was a big deal for us. We worked hard. We kept it under wraps. Some people were searching, and they kind of discovered some stuff, and they kept it a secret, so which was really nice. But yeah, the name change is really cool. We worked hard on that.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. It helps if if my microphone was on, so when I eat
sorry.
my gummy bears and nobody hears me eating my gummy bears. So what makes Champ stand out? Why people should people race with you other than other racing series?
Well, we're out here on we want to be in a position for you to come and race for us the first time. We want to be where you start. Our rules package keeps the speeds down, keeps the checkbook racers from winning. We have a pretty tight – I'm going to get run over here. We have a pretty tight rules package. So that kind of keeps the money guys out. Though we do have some money guys here. But we want this to be where you go to start. And then when you learn how to endurance race, you get your team together, you guys get some money together, and then you just move up. You go to SCCA, AER, IMSA, whatever. And we've had a lot of people do that, especially with IMSA. They've started here and moved up. So, and that's where we want to be. We're the place where you go to start out. It's easy. Just get a car, get a cage, get some safety gear and a fuel system, and go racing.
Yeah. And we know both of our cars are way over on points for your series, so.
And that's it. I mean, the point system, a lot of people really hate it. That's a kind of a problem out west, is that there's, how do I say this? They just want to be able to run a lot of fuel and all that stuff. But this is how we keep the power, the speed differentials down, is keeping the fuel away from them. They're limited to what they can put in the car. The stock size plus 2 gallons if they use a fuel cell. They can't run a Mini with a 20-gallon or 30-gallon fuel cell like some other places allow them to do. So that keeps it down, because you can put 300 horsepower in a car. The problem is you don't have 300 horsepower with the fuel in there to go an hour and a half or 2 hours. You can't go an hour and a half, 2 hours. You're not going to do well in this series. And that upsets a lot of guys. They want as much fuel as they can because they have a lot of horsepower. But that's not how we race. And there's a lot of East Coasters that prove it over and over and over again. You can win these races with not a lot of horsepower.
Do you hear that? Sorry for party racing. This is the problem. I blanked a second on their name.
Yeah,
we have friends who have too much horsepower and not enough tank. And we're Lemons racers. We've traded paint with you back in the day. And their giant Firebird Marrow with a breathed-on carbureted motor, they continually not win, not because they're not fast enough, because in that last hour they have to stop for fuel.
Right.
So fuel management is a very important part of endurance racing. And we've talked about building cars specifically for the series, because you have to know what wins in one series and what doesn't in another.
Right. And the great thing about us is it seems like E30s win all the time. It seems like MR2s win all the time. And it seems like the Saabs win all the time. They don't. We have such a varied type of car here that it's not the same cars over and over again. It just doesn't work like that. We have a lot of E36s, and it depends on the tracks too. I don't want to say guys cherry pick.
They cherry pick. Don't worry, we know that. We're aware of that.
They look at the tracks and see how they're going to compete, and that's how they get points for their championship races. And there's a lot of my friends that were doing that, and I didn't catch on. I was always doing the really top races and couldn't figure out why they were getting so many trophies and I wasn't. And that sucked.
Yeah.
But it is, that's what it is, and it's.
Right, so most of the way
I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
That's all right. So most of the way you're avoiding speed creep is with the points, just to try to hold people back on the mods and to make sure they don't have enough fuel to be able to pull the horsepower.
Yeah.
Really well, I can hear myself, and I can hear all you guys. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's all right. Now you talk fast.
Yeah.
Speed creep is fuel, which ultimately gives you how much horsepower you should run, and that's a secret.
Well, you could also choose not to accept the Ferraris that register.
We don't have Ferraris that register.
That's a good way to avoid speed creep.
He's mocking AER with that one.
Oh, well, yeah. But that's a different series. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not bagging on AER.
They position themselves to be a top tier a top tier series for budget series. I mean, look at the cars that come out. It's a good series. I know the guys that run that series. I've known Scott Barton for a long time. I know he's part of them or did something with them.
Yeah.
He's been a long time. Yeah, Scott's a long time MR2 guy. Him and I had a really good race with our pickup trucks with our cars in tow one time going up a hill.
They're the best.
Very fast. It's like, yeah, that was really bad. Bad. Yeah. But yeah, it's the fuel is the basics. I mean, that tells you how much, you can put 30. If you put 30 gallons in my MR2, we would just add so much horsepower. And then the swap thing, we had to figure out a way to do swaps.
I think there's a Zamboni driving by your location there.
Actually, that is a mid-'87 series done up in race regalia. Oh, be still my beating heart.
Yeah. Is that the M7? We have an M7 that races.
No. That is an old school like 733 from like '84.
Oh no, there's an M. It's I forget if it's an M7 or M6 that race with us at Sebring, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's not a legal car." It wasn't that fast. There's a lot of cars that you would think are really fast. Everybody's talking about this S2000. My prediction is it's not going to be as fast as people think it's going to be. Cars today are really, really heavy, and to get them really light takes a lot of sawzalling. And I don't think a lot of these guys with newer cars would do that to that car. So they're worth too much money. We'll see. We'll see how
we have track dated against a bunch of the S2000s, and it's hard to tell who can drive and who can't. But in my NA Miata, I was not tremendously blown away at any point by any of the S2000s.
I've done a lot of track days with the MR2 V6, and we weren't too impressed by a lot of cars out there. We'd hang with Z06s, so it's and these are on street tires, not
obviously.
And that's the other limiting factor too, is that you're putting cars on here with 180 tread wear or higher. Most of the guys run 200 tread wear tires, so that's a couple of seconds a lap. At least.
Yeah. Well, we've discussed the quote treadwear ratings. The tires have gotten so much better. I mean, people talk about speed creep in all of the series. They talk about it in Lemons. They talk about it in everything else. And the tire improvement and the just years of development in a lot of these cars is going to create that.
Let's go back to that real quick. So you guys talk about speed creep. We read about it on the forum. We see it on Facebook, guys complaining about speed creep within our series and other series as well. But you know what? I started out in Lemons at CMP up in Georgia in 2009. That was our first race that we did with MR2s. I go back and I look at the pictures I took a picture of every car there. And there was at least 10 cars there that still race in Champcar to this day. Jackie X is one of them. They're out of South Florida.
Yeah, the
366, the 3000 GTs.
3000 GTs,
yeah.
So I started with those guys. We were all pretty even. We'd come back a year later. They got a little quicker. We'd come back a year later. We'd get a little quicker. But it wasn't necessarily the cars itself. It was our preparation of those cars. It was our preparation as drivers. The more experience we got, the faster we got. And you see a lot of teams that complain that they're not getting, the speed creep's just out of hand. But you look at the cars they've driven, every other race they've got a different type of car. So they haven't fully developed that chassis.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have
Chassis
stuck
development.
Yes.
Very important.
And we have stuck with the Toyota MR2 from day one. We started out with NA 2.2 liters, and we moved up to the V6 and the 3-liter V6, and we went to a 3.3-liter V6 because they were cheaper. And they're super cheap to run. I have over 60,000 race or 30,000 race miles on my engine that I originally put in the car in 2012, and over 60 races with that engine, and with 0 issues with it. So I think if you stick with the chassis, you work with it, you will get faster and faster. And we've seen it with our team and other teams as well. And I can see it now going from race to race now, working the show. We see this. There's a lot of guys that don't because they only go to their local race, or they go to one race here, one race there. Yeah. But, yeah. And the Robin Banks guys, the Robin Banks, he's won pretty much every 24-hour race we've done. He's the long-distance king in Champcar. The Robin Bank Sops, I don't think Robin actually drives the cars, but he just sits there in pit with his radio up to his mouth going, I want you to hit 150 once.
Oh, and connection problem. A little bit.
Watching race here.
Well, I'm sure the story Bill is telling is excellent.
And he just sits there. And he just sits there and just tells the guys. And there's a lot of teams up and down pit lane that do that too. It's a strategy. If they sense there's going to be a yellow flag, it's like, they know, do I pit now? If I pit now, where's that going to put me in 12 hours? And these guys, there's guys out there that I suck at this. I absolutely suck at the strategy part. That's why I have Troy Trulio helping me out a lot. All my races that we've done really well at, Troy's been right beside me. He's the owner of the Biohazard MR2. There's a couple other guys. Mike Helm, he's really good at that kind of stuff. He's one of my drivers, and he's driving this weekend, I think, for either Troy or the not banned yet 240SX. We're all local guys. We all kind of work together. But that strategy is
you're absolutely right.
A big difference.
Yeah, strategy and drive. What you said exactly was chassis development, driver education, and strategy is what wins endurance racing. Yeah. And we have been saying for all 77 episodes or 72 episodes of this show, you want to make your car faster? Go get educated.
Yeah,
it's the nut behind the wheel that needs the improvement.
And it's not necessarily learning how to drive the line or whatever. It's just learning how to control your car and not hit people, not hit the track, keeping it on the track, and not driving it at 110%. And that's a huge, huge thing with endurance racing. We saw that at the IMSA race. If some of those guys had not driven at 100% or even 90%, they may have done better instead of spinning off into the fence or the grass or other cars. So it's a big deal.
Absolutely. Questions around the table?
Chris, you got a couple of good ones I want to talk.
You've been to a whole bunch of tracks, Bill. What's your top 3? Quick. Which ones do you think you like the best?
Top 3, Sebring, Road Atlanta, and hold on. VIR is my local track. It's all right. Laguna Seca.
Okay.
Oh, we're there. We agree with that one.
Mental's mad. He just
we did one race there, and I still want to go back because
so did we.
As do we.
I totally effed it up. I went out there.
As did we.
And I didn't think I didn't think it was going to be as slippery as it was going to be, and that sand is just insane slippery. And
turn 3. Shoot.
Well, ours was underwater.
Yeah, I got turn 3 right. It's turn.
Oh no, it was wet the whole time and it was slippery.
Or the hairpin. I don't. Is that 2-3?
That's 1-2. Whatever.
1-2.
Yeah. So I just could never get that right. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought I did a few times, and I watched the predictive timing, and it kind of went down a little, but not as much as I thought it would. So I knew I never got that right. But other parts of the track, were just fun. Yeah. But my top 2 are Sebring and Road Atlanta. Just those 2 tracks just are. Charlotte Motor Speedway. Charlotte blows away Daytona, and I never said that. Okay, don't let anybody know.
That was Jeff who said that, by the way, everyone, not Bill, Bill Strong.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, if you get a chance to race that track. Hey, I got somebody that's walking up here. Matt, come here. Matt Connolly Motorsports. These guys want to know
Get him on the headphones.
No, it's real simple. Oh, here you go. Okay. All right. So that was a decision I made long ago when I first started running pro Motorola Cup. Was usually when they come, some people have clever names and all. Say, hey guys, they have clever names for their team and all that. But they go there and who's the principal? Who's the guy to talk to? Right. So I paid, I think it was $30,000 to an ad agency, and they said, "How about Matt Connolly Motorsports?" And I said, "That's worth $35,000." What? Oh, sure. Wow. No, okay. So I said, well, if you just make it Matt Connolly Motorsports, it's like, where's Matt Connolly? And it's easy to find. Yeah. So that's all. I could make it like Dragon Slayer or I like that one.
So you paid $35,000 to a company to tell you what your own name was.
You know what? Don't judge me. Feeling kind of vulnerable right now. Now that I'm kidding. No, it was a decision. I mean, it could be, big money or, Morning Wood or something cool like that. Matt Connolly Motorsports was just like, and if you want to get your name out there, because there are teams that you have no idea who runs them. So,
but if it's just the team, there's no I in team, right? So it's everybody runs it.
It's in the a-hole.
You don't want to know who runs this. Somebody shows up. Who's the idiot running this team? No idea.
He's in the car now.
Plus, sometimes you're like, I really would like it to have no idea who I am, but so that's the origin behind it.
Well, Matt, you're on the Everyone Racers podcast, and we have been discussing race results for a very long time. And every time your team name comes up, we say, "Man, they got to get more creative." So since you've been on our show. And we know you're cool because you have a cool T-shirt. We will stop bagging on your name, all right?
I mean, what do you change it to at this point? What do you do? Now, remember, you see my logo, right? The MCM and the C is like a tachometer. But certain people think it looks like mom because C. So mom racing. Or if they want to get really creative, they say mom's clocks. Because the C with tachometer looks like a clock, or time to call mom, and so I believe me, there's a lot of creativity about the team name. It's been really one of those blessings that keeps giving over the years.
Excellent. Well, we end up talking about you a lot because you keep doing well. So thanks for.
Well, I'll do my best. I'm trying to disappoint this year.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, keep it safe this weekend.
Yeah, we got my 99-cent glasses.
There you go.
See you guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. We are going to get so much listener mail on this one.
So one of the things that Matt talked about was he's running as a business, and there's a lot of teams that they can't figure out how to do this as a business, and it's easy to do as a business. You're selling. How much time do we have?
No, keep going.
Oh,
we're already over at 90 minutes.
When people show the clock to me, that means there's I need to shut the hell up. But we run it. I run my team as a business, and I sell seat time. So that's how I ran it, and that's how I was able to afford to race a lot by charging for those seats. So that's a little secret, I guess.
We have been known to sell a seat or two in the Three Pedal Mafia. So and I'd like to mention that we are making $0.0 on this podcast every single week.
Yeah. You're probably forking out money because this is a nice microphone with this really cool blue light. I like the light.
Hence mine it's green because it is.
I keep touching your screen, but.
Yep. We've all got it.
Yep. There's that.
Oh, this has been great. I just want to throw it out there. Mental, you haven't asked any questions. You got anything on your list?
You started.
No. I did all my intro stuff. But yeah, Jeff, go ahead and let's.
I was going to say the only thing I have left on my list is we've heard about I guess Champ's mission statement. We've heard about the change of the title and stuff. And on one end of the spectrum, there's these giant race series that are run by giant committees, and the rule book gets bigger and bigger every year. We won't call them out because we all know it's the SCCA. And on the other side, there's these smaller groups that are run on the personality of one human being, and it doesn't matter what the rule book says, it matters what that human being says. And Champ seems to be like the porridge in the middle.
Yeah, we Mike and I talk about this every single day. Mike Chiswick, the CEO. We have a rule book. We've kept it pretty stable for the last 2 years. We had a problem with the rule book changing hourly way back in the days of somebody else, and we stopped that. We didn't want that, and that was a lot of the membership said no. We don't. We want a stable rule book. I can build a car and develop it. And remember, that goes back to the developing a chassis part. You don't have to keep changing your car to make it match the rules. So we've tried to keep it as small as possible. Unfortunately, when you have such a diverse field of cars, you have to keep adding little rules to it. And
because racers are just going to exploit those between the rules. That's what they do.
Yes. Well, the problem too is, now you guys live in the East. Right up the coast here is Charlotte and Mooresville. That's where the racing capital of the world is. So all the NASCAR guys are there. We have a lot of NASCAR. We have a lot of IndyCar and IMSA builders of those cars that race with us. And they would take these rules and just make some absolutely killer cars that would not, that we can't compete with, because they just have such a brain trust. They have a lot of engineering smarts.
A lot of engineering time.
They can put big words together, unlike me. So, but that's kind of what we have to fight against. So what we would allow on the West, some guys keep asking us on the West Coast if we could make the rule like a lucky dog class or something like that. And we're like, no, we can't, because whatever our rules are, whatever we do on the West, we have to do on the East. We did it on the East. These guys would come out here with 6,000 horsepower cars. We can't do that. That's not what we are, and that's not what we're going to become. And you can build whatever you want, but build a Champ car and come race with us. We have a lot of races out West. We'd love to get up in the Northwest, but right now it's pretty difficult. The amount of days we have, like I said, 29 weekends.
29 is a huge series.
We actually had to, because we're doing Indy. We're the first amateur endurance.
I saw that on the list.
Goes to Indianapolis this year.
That's amazing.
We have a 3-year deal with them. We are. It's huge. I mean, it sold out we had 99 entries in 7 minutes. Done.
Wow.
We had a little error, whatever. It came out to be, or at 14 minutes, sorry. And then at 19 minutes, we had the 100th person. I think we had an error on the server, but people were just clicking so fast. We were sitting there watching.
Refresh!
I thought we would hit maybe 30 or 40. I'd wake up in the morning, there'd be like maybe 50 cars signed up. But it was just, Mike's sitting there looking at the bank account. I'm looking at how the people are registering through my little website stuff, and we have my other guys, Doc and Paulie. They're sitting there refreshing the entry list as it's coming through, and they're like, we're all entering like we're at 25, and it's only like 2 minutes in, and it just kept going and going and going, and we were just like blown away. It's like, no way this doesn't happen, and it did. We had 102 people. 2 guys figured out how to get past the block we had. So, we've had 2 people drop out since. Their cars aren't going to be ready in time, but it's insane. We have 100 cars for that. We have we have a lot of big time racers. I want to say big time as in bigger than what you see normally at a Champ car race, that want to come and have fun with us. We've had some F1 guys race with us too, so in the past, and last year actually, and they keep passing the word out there, and so a lot of Europeans come over and they want to race with us, and which is awesome. So we're giving them the tracks to race on, and we're gonna have some fun with it.
Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. I've read more about your series in the last couple of days preparing for this than I ever have. 25% of this pod has annually takes place. It goes out to Ohio. So
I've done Daytona and Sebring, and yeah, Sebring is one of those tracks you just need to drive. It is unlike anything else. It is so unique.
Yeah.
You need to do the Nelson Ledges 24.
Nelson's Ledges is on the book for all the time.
It's Nelson Ledges.
No, it's Nelson.
It's a joke.
It's a joke for our podcast.
So my experience at Nelson Ledges was a dream track. I had always wanted to race there. I don't know why. I remember seeing a show on American Sports Cavalcade in the 80s where they did this 24-hour race with normal cars, the cars like we run, and I wanted to go there so bad. So when Lemon said they were going there, I was like, we're doing it. And that was our second race, was the Nelson Ledges 24-hour with
wow.
Lemons.
With Lemons,
So
yeah.
I'm kind of famous for being the first guy at the track. It may be like 2 or 3 days ahead. I would use my leave for racing. So whenever I went racing, it was a vacation for me. So I arrived at like 2 a.m. at the track, and I'm looking around. I'm like, is this it? Because it's out in the middle of nowhere. And I got my flashlight out, and I'm looking, and I see a sign, and it looks like something's painted on it. And they had spray painted Nelson Ledges. And I was just like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go to Sebring, and it's, the big lights everywhere. Sebring and National Raceway with all the winners and stuff. This was not a cardboard. It was better than that. It was plywood with Nelson Ledges spray painted. Not nice and neat, but it was kind of different size letters.
Nice.
And I was just like, wow, what am I getting myself into here?
It is really in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere.
As the world's largest collection of old tires, and encircling the track. But Fred Wolf, who's now running the track manager there now, he is absolutely kicking butt at bringing Nelson Ledges into the 20th century. And yes, I said 20th. He's getting there.
I was thinking the same thing.
21st century. And they are making a lot of updates to the track. They repaved it last year, which our times dropped. I think it was 7 seconds a lap faster now than it was when we ran in the past.
Yeah, that's right.
The track is so fast. We almost hit 1,000 laps. We were very close to hitting 1,000 laps for a 24-hour race, which was just insane.
Yeah,
That
is.
insane.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a lot of cars on track this year, so it should make it really fun.
Well,
Have I taken too much time, guys? I'm really sorry.
No, we're at the end of our list, so we're going to move on here. But I just want to say thank you. We are definitely going to, like I said, Mental always gets to champ races every year. If we had a car that would fit the rule book, we would probably definitely be there, because you're hitting some fantastic tracks and definitely some in our areas. And
you do know that we have the Arrive and Drive teams. We have a lot of Arrive and Drive.
Sure.
You go to our website.
Go ahead.
Just click on the Arrive and Drive, and there are a ton of teams on there that would rent you a seat. So you have no excuse. Don't be moving your camera down.
No.
It falls down.
Falling. So.
That's your wife.
No, we like renting seats to other people. We don't do well when we rent seats for ourselves.
Okay.
So,
I'm
Chris, how did that work out with Tom Lamino?
It was great.
Oh.
I changed the motor in someone else's car and then drove for an hour the next day. That was fun.
Wait, we just did that at Laguna. Actually,
I think that's better than when I accidentally screwed up the fuel and got the entire team disqualified that I was renting a seat from. That's bad too. So.
Well, you know what? That's experience, and you can put that down on your resume that you have experience at screwing somebody's weekend up.
Oh yeah.
And that would not do that.
Everybody wants that.
Sorry, Bill. I know you're listening.
Hey, there's always exhibition class. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you mentioned the website. You mentioned the website. Why don't you go ahead and throw all your other social media up there? Most importantly, where can people go to watch your live broadcast of the race this weekend?
All right. Well, the website's champcar.org, not .com, .org. You can watch our show live on champcar.live. That's it. Champcar.live takes you to our YouTube channel. We also simulcast on Facebook on the Champ Car Endurance Series Facebook page. Every race except for one, all of it, every bit of it, unless we have a crash or something happens, which happens.
Yeah.
But, it's now let me take that back. There are a couple of races that we don't have internet at. Thompson Motor Speedway, we don't have very good internet at, but we try to do a abbreviated telecast. We may have cameras, we may not. It depends on what the Verizon gods tell us. And,
Yeah. And I just want to tell the listeners, if you have not seen this, there are in-car, there are
track cameras.
shots, track cameras. I don't know how many cameras you run.
There's a lot of shots of me. So especially you older ladies out there. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Don't tell my wife though, please.
I like that your friend Doc is laughing hysterically in the trailer too, as you say that, as you're trying to get all.
Doc gets all the hotties. So he's single, and
Also, shamelessly, because you guys mentioned this on the Champcar Live broadcast. Talk to me about that racing for kids that you guys do as well.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to talk about that. I can't go within 5 miles of high school, so.
There was question marks in both of Bill's eyes while he tried to scramble for what the hell is mental
What are you talking about?
So there's Chandler's School. They're in South Carolina. They're a high school for I think it's dyslexic kids, or kids with learning disabilities. And what they've learned is that putting these kids working on cars can actually open them up and help them help them work on the car, or help them dealing with other people and talking with other people. And they actually come out here, and I think they have 2 cars here this weekend. So these are kids, I believe, from 6th grade. It might be 7th grade, but they're pretty young kids all the way up to high school. They actually work on the cars. They prep the cars. Unfortunately, they don't get to race them. And they go out, and the cars come in. They actually pit in the paddock, because we don't allow the kids on pit lane that young. So they bring the car in the paddock, and they actually have some test drivers for the BMW and the Michelin proving grounds up north of us here, and they come down and drive for them. They have guest drivers, some big time names. Sometimes they're not allowed to say the names of these drivers, but they come down and drive for them. And they end up, the kids actually are so proud of these cars. They actually have a boys team and a girls team. And the girls team will actually better than the boys team a lot of times.
Heck yeah!
they've got their shit together. We also do the education, an education system where if you're a college or high school, like a shop or team, you can make a high school or college team and come racing with us. If your engineering program starts up a Champcar team like Formula SAE, you guys have heard of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's some schools like Virginia Tech, Utah has one where they have a Champcar team. They have to basically do their studies on this car, how to make it faster, do wind tunnel testing on it. That's what Tech has done. They bring the whole crew out. They're all graded on how they perform and how they work on the cars, how they make it work, how they overcome the issues of racing. And it's actually, from what I understand, it could be actually better real-world experience for racing teams later on if they decide to get jobs after they finish their engineering programs. But they get to race for it. Yeah. We actually offer them free racing if you have a proper college or high school racing team. There's Vince Laparo. I don't have his email, but I can get it. But Vince Laparo has actually started up a program to where teachers would actually contact him, and he would get you all the information to start a team. He actually has a homeschool team in Northern Virginia that my son actually raced for at Charlotte last year. They built a BMW Z3, and all these kids, I believe they're from 9th grade on up. They may be a little younger. There may be a middle schooler in there. But all these kids do all the engineering on the car. They get to learn how and why they're doing things on the car, and it's a really good program. So,
yeah, well, and if
That's
they
fantastic.
can't find you, have them get a hold of us, and I'll put them in touch with you.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Totally.
Sounds good.
Totally.
All right.
So, yeah, absolutely. Don't go anywhere, Bill, because we are going to move into our favorite segment. But just like my new truck, it has a different twist today. It's Just the Tip, brought to us by Mental.
Well,
Mental,
we're introducing a new segment because, surprising as it may be, some people find Just the Tip frustrating and disappointing. So, safety still matters. In light of recent events, we're going to talk about this new segment called Don't Be a Doofus. Much like our trailer episode, learn from our mistakes. Your body needs water. Ross Bentley's talked about it. You know it. Everybody needs water. But it's real easy to know that you're dehydrated when you're racing down south in the summer months. But what about the other conditions? You can actually lose hydration out of your body faster when it's cold, when you're at altitude, or when you're in arid, dry climate, say like, the desert in Arizona. The Center for Human Performance warns that cold weather tends to move body fluids to your extremities, to your core, increasing your urine output and adding to dehydration. So just because you're cold doesn't mean you're not dehydrated. Did you fly to that race? Well, that air is dry, and you're going to be dehydrated before you get there. Are you racing in the desert? You're racing in the Rockies. All of this starts beforehand. Are you on a high-protein, low-carb diet? All this is going to contribute to your dehydration, and it's going to make you less effective in the car, and it is going to lend to you being nauseous. So basically, it's a real simple rule. How many times do you go to the bathroom? If you're not, oh, hang on a second.
There's a speedboat going by, I believe.
Yeah.
I think
That's
that
what
was
it sounded like.
38-foot cigarette, I'm sure.
How many
The
times have you
Donzi,
gone to
clearly.
the bathroom? And if you're going to the bathroom and it's not clear, you need to drink more water. Don't be a doofus. Don't puke in your helmet. Drink more water.
All right. I have something really important about that because I have personal experience about
Go,
this.
Bill, go.
And it was worse than puking in a helmet. The 24-hour race about 5 years ago, I spun my car. I was out on the I went out at like 2 a.m. I'm driving around the track, and I'm thinking to myself, so what am I doing at UVA tomorrow? Or Monday, I'm going to have to do this shirt. I'm going to have to do this artwork. I got to update the website. And then I realized I'm doing 130 miles an hour on the back straight thinking like this. I'm like, gosh darn it, stop. So I got back into the racing mind frame, continued around, and next thing I know, I'm thinking about work again. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about bills due. And it's just like, God darn it, stop it. Went focus. And I was having a really hard time focusing. And again, back straight, I'm thinking about something else. I cannot figure out why. I pass a couple of cars. I come down through Hog Pen. It starts raining. And as I make that, I made a really bad mistake about how fast I was going down the hill. And I got off track. I just skidded off track. And I thought, okay, I'm out here in the grass. It looks like a good area to go back on. I came back on before the curve, before you go on the front straightaway. And my car came around. The MR2 snapped to the left and went straight at the wall at about 75 to 95 miles an hour. My head, my harness wasn't on properly. It was on properly, but it wasn't really cinched down tight. I ended up moving so far forward, my helmet hit the roll cage, my upper left temple, and it caused a concussion and a brain bleed. I didn't know about this until 2 days later, when I was suffering from the concussion issues, and I told my boss, and he goes, "Dude, you got a concussion." But took me to the hospital, and sure enough, they did the thing on me. But we found out that I was totally dehydrated. I'd been working so hard on keeping the car running. I'd really not got any rest. I really hadn't eaten or drank, and it was like 100+ degrees that day too. I'd done some drinking, but I just wasn't drinking enough. But I was completely dehydrated. I was making bad decisions, and it's something that we really stress over and over and over again when we do 24-hour races, is that you guys need to drink. And you think it's cool in the night. It's not. You, like you said, the coldness and that can take so much water out of you. But don't get a concussion because it totally sucks.
Wow.
Yep.
Surprise, just a tip from Bill.
So,
Make sure you're cinched in nice and tight. And make sure you build that cage right. And
that's why we
grab those belts on straightaways.
Yeah, well, that's why we also use the full containment seat. So we got rid of the Kirky seat, and we put a full containment Cobra in there. And I actually, after that event, University of Virginia hosted a safety NASCAR safety event where they had the chief of safety for NASCAR come and give a talk. And because I worked for UVA, I thought I'm going to go to this. So I sat down, got into it, and he was giving a college level talk about safety. Nobody was asking questions in the class, and I raised my hand. I'm like, I'm not a student, but this is what happened to me. How could we? And we went through the whole process of what had happened to me and how we could have protected myself a little better. And we actually applied that stuff to our seats, basically building up the side of the containment seat with SFI padding to keep our heads from moving. And it worked out really well. And we've had a couple of wrecks in the car, some really bad ones, and the guys came out of there with no problems.
Hey.
Well, this weekend we are going to be putting our first containment seat in one of our cars.
We will practice those things.
There we go. So hey,
and
top tips.
Getting in and out, because that's the biggest thing. Once you get that in, is guys tend to get stuck.
Yeah, Jim is going to die if the car ever catches fire. So that's good.
Jim is my brother, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Hey, anyway, that's great ways to not be a doofus. Thanks to Mental and Bill. They're always willing to share ways that we can learn from their mistakes. So next week, hey, Next week, it's the return of guest number 1. Eric Rude is back from his basement in Kandahar to talk about the Retreat from Moscow rally, as well as upcoming rallies and HooptyCon that will be there in New Jersey. Eric's always fun. We like having him on, so we're looking forward to it, and you should too.
Eric interviewed me about way back in the day. Good guy.
Yeah, Eric is great. We love Eric. So we've reached the end of the show. We'd like to say thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's Champ Edition, Champcar Edition. I was going to say Champion, but that's not the same thing, of E1R Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us 5-star rating. Even if you don't like us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, E1R Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram, Twitter at everyone.racers. Thanks again. It's the what? Thanks again.
Swipe right on Bill Strong, please.
Swipe right. I believe he liked the older ladies.
Yes.
And just a tip.
Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side, then just keep the wheels down.